Welcome to Stroke, the Art of Mental Stimulation podcast. I am happy to have you guys here with me today. Of course, you have D-Love on the mic with you today, and you already know how we do it, man. We keep it really raw, honest, transparent. I don't hold back. What you hear is what you get. You know, transparency at its finest. This is the real human experience. I touch on subjects that we go through in everyday life, and I hit them from a healing and spiritual perspective. You know, I'm trying to let you guys know that you aren't alone, that everybody's dealing with these same things. And I like to get right inside of that experience, like right inside of it, what it really feels like as we are going through it. You know, we may talk about some topics of, you know, things that get us to the highest versions of ourselves, the best versions of ourselves. You know, we might talk about anything on this podcast. You already know. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You know, analytics and everything help me out with that. But of course, you already know what's about to happen to you. If you don't know, you heard about it. All right, it's time to get stroked up. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I am happy to be here with you today. I don't know. It's something about the Tuesday episode. I'm always looking forward to it. You know, Vibe for 5 Friday is good. You know, we jump in there. It's quick. I always drop some gems in there. But the Tuesday episode where I get to really dive deep and I really get to like touch and affect someone, because you who are listening right now, if you are listening on this episode right now, you are meant to be here. This message is probably for you because, first of all, just reading that title, you know, if it pulled you in, it's a reason why you're here. You could have been anywhere else. You could be doing anything else, but you're here. So, yeah, this message is probably going to resonate somewhere deep within you, okay? Today, what I want to talk about is we always hear people talking about shadow work now. You know, we come up with these new words and phrases now. You know, that's how everybody look at it. Everybody's doing shadow work now. You know, that word's been around for a long time, that concept. But, you know, no one really dives into what that is. You know, we know it's, you know, looking at your flaws and seeing what you can do to make a better version of yourself, basically. All right. But no one really like dives in what that's like, that feeling of it all, because it's hard. A lot of people want to avoid the flaws that they have. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that stuff because it takes going back in some of those dark places within your life sometimes. But I think it's necessary. It's basically self-reflection. Self-reflection is necessary. Like the episode says, take a look in the mirror and tell me what you see. And when I say mirror here, we're talking about that spiritual mirror. You know, you can look in the mirror physically, but when you look in the mirror and you look into your own eyes in that mirror, are you happy with what you see? Are you good with what you see? Or do you have some things that you've buried deep down inside that, you know, you keep pushing, persevering, you keep going because you have to, because we live life, we have responsibilities, we have people that depend on us or whatever. But we have some of those things deep down that we know we have to work on. And we know working on those things will make a better version of ourselves. And sometimes we like to, you know, create excuses for ourselves, like those responsibilities or all this other stuff that we have going on. But in reality, we really need to put ourselves first. And I talk about that all of the time. Because if we get down and do this work on ourselves, oh my God, all this stuff in your head that you think about and all this stuff you want to be that you can't get out, it would really just flow out. It was just frequently. It would just come out of you. It would just flow. It'll be abundance. You'll be happy. That's where your peace lies. The peace lies in the work that we are afraid to do. I'm going to say that one more time. Peace lies in the work that we are afraid to do. And when I say we, I mean myself as well, because, oh my God, I have a lot of work to do. And I call them out sometimes. Patience is one of the big ones. I can be very passionate and fiery, especially when I'm caught off guard with things. So I'm working on that to try to slow down a bit, you know, breathe, slow down a bit. Yeah, I get ahead of myself a little bit sometimes, and, you know, I'm working on that. My delivery, sometimes the way I speak to people, you know, some people have that, it is what it is. This is who I am, and you're going to have to take it, and this is just what it is. We can't be like that. We can't be like that. I realized my delivery wasn't the best a long time ago. But me, I was okay with it because I knew what I was saying was true. I knew what I was saying was accurate. It was facts. So it's like, who cares how I deliver it? It is what it is. Take it or leave it. You're just afraid of the truth. And, you know, that's how I came at people. But I had to realize that people will accept what you are saying better if, you know, you take the time to talk to them and not at them. And I can come across like that sometimes. It's not my intention. We're not bad people, and it's not always our intentions to come across like that, or, you know, some of our flaws. It's not, you know, not even always our fault. It's something that could have been embedded in you since you were younger and you just went along with it. But if we see everybody complaining about it, we see things falling apart or things not going the right way all the time around us, and we just keep putting it off like it's everybody else, we have to be real with ourselves. So, I have to get down and do this work. When it comes to my delivery sometimes with people, I'm still working on it because I'm blunt. I don't beat around the bush. I don't like all that playing games and stuff. It's just like, bam, this is what it is. But I had to realize everybody doesn't receive things like that. In my household growing up, it was just straight lace, cut and dry. This is what it is. And that's what I'm used to. And, that's how I communicate. But, everybody not built like that. Everybody's not built like that. So, I had to, draw it back because what it was doing was taking away from my messaging. It takes away from my messaging because what I could be saying could be true, could be factual, could be something that could help them. But now they're on the defense. And now they looking at it from a different point of view. And now I may have triggered something inside of them. They may have had someone that used to speak to them like that. And now when I speak like that, everything shuts down. Everything shuts down. I had a young lady that I met before. And this is a real eye-opener for me on my journey. I'm still on it, but I'm further along. Like, I do much better. I can catch myself most of the time. I try to slow it down. But I had this young lady. She was so intelligent. Oh, my God. Like, this lady, she probably could be the president or something. She's very intelligent. And I was in an atmosphere where they were discussing different topics, and she was so passionate. And when she was expressing herself, it was coming off as anger and defensive-ness. So instead of people trying to hear her, they were more so trying to defend themselves against her. It became all about who's right. Who's right and versus who's wrong and all that instead of them listening to what she was saying. And I realized every time someone didn't agree with her point, it's like she was getting angry because, she was making good points. But in her mind, I guess she feels like she's wrong if she can't get people to agree with her. And that could have been something that was cultivated when she was younger or whatever. She was in an environment like that. It was always back and forth, debating back and forth or whatever. And, she felt slighted or whatever. And it comes off in that. So I actually stopped her. I was like, hey, come here. Let me talk to you. And she actually sat there and listened or whatever. Smart. When I tell you intelligent, smart, she can lead a movement. And I kind of told her that too. I was like, hey, I said, you're great. You're super intelligent. I was like, oh, my God, you can, command a room. And I said, but the way you're coming off and the way you're speaking is taken away from your messaging. I was like, I know you're passionate or whatever. I said, because, I'm the same way. We're passionate. And people like us with so much passion, you have to learn to control that. You got to hone it in. You got to learn to control it because, man, what I feel inside, when I feel a certain type of way, it's like an explosion of energy. And I can see that within her. I said, you got to slow down. You have to breathe. And you have to control that because they're not hearing you because the way you're speaking. And I'm looking at her from the outside in, and really I'm speaking to myself when I'm speaking to her. And that's that mirror effect. She was mirroring to me how it looks when I am just like that. Because I have times when I know I'm right. I'm making a point. I know I'm right. And, I just get in there. I don't want to know if it's competitiveness, whatever I have going on. But when I know I'm right, I'm going to drive it to the ground. But that wasn't working. They were, too busy defending themselves, deflecting. So, yeah, I told her that, and she took it. She received it. She received it very well. And then I found out she used to be on the debate team or whatever, too. But, yeah, we can give people the same information without all that fire behind it. We can slow down, put a little love in it, spice it up. What they say, you get more bees with honey and whatever. So I looked at that, and I was like, man, okay, that's how that looks when I'm trying to prove a point. That's how that looks when, I'm shooting venom from my mouth, even with the truth. That's how that looks. So, sometimes it's hard to turn within and look at that stuff within us. You have something that you know that you need to work on. You know it. You think about it to yourself. You may not admit it to everybody else because we try to cover up things with our ego, to keep us from getting our feelings hurt or whatever. We use our ego to be all macho, to be out there and just be like, I'm perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Oh, well, whatever. Then we get home and we're thinking about it like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I could have did this better. But we don't want to admit it out loud because in front of everybody, we want to seem like everything is good. All right? There is more freedom. Let me see how I want to say this. There's more freedom just basically releasing your ego. Releasing that ego and not having to conform and be what everybody else is being or saying that we are. If you know who you are deep down inside, it doesn't matter what people think. And I said this to my cousin the other day. I said, she had a situation go on or whatever. And I was like, does it matter if you know that's not the truth? Someone said something about her and she was like really upset about it. I was like, people are going to always think and say things about you. I was like, I said, doesn't matter. First I said, did you do that? And she was like, well, what do you mean did I do that? She got offended. I was like, no, I'm not like accusing you of saying, did you do it? I'm asking you, did you do it? I'm asking you like straight up, did you do it? And she was like, no, I didn't do it. I was like, there you go. All right. You know you didn't do it. You know you're not that person. So, what's the problem? I said, they're controlling you. They're controlling you. When people do that to us, they're controlling us. Because you know the answer. You know, but you care about what they think. The moment we stop caring about what people think and just live to be free, to be the best versions of ourselves, that's when things go amazingly. Okay, when we're doing this shadow work and this self-reflection, we're not doing this to, appease the world. We're doing this to bring peace within ourselves. You know how peaceful that would be if all that stuff going on that that's not right. You took the time to educate yourself. You took the time to journal. Journaling is good. You took the time to journal. You took the time to seek a therapist about these things within yourself. Man, your quality of life will change. I like to journal every Sunday. Like, I'm not the type of person that's going to set me set up a thing where I'm doing it every day because I know I'm not going to do it. So I'm realistic. Every Sunday, I take account of my week, I guess, and every Sunday I wind down before I go to bed. I write so I can start the week off right. I release everything within that book. And, you can do something for yourself, whatever that means to start doing that work, one thing at a time to start. And you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. So this is not about perfection and knocking down everything. It's about trying. It's about trying to do the things to give you the peace that you desire in your life. It really exists, peace of mind. And most of it is just mindset. Most of it is changing our mindset. We were taught things and we were programmed since we were kids, and those things stuck with us. And at the time, that stuff probably worked for the time that our parents were in or their parents were in. But now we're in a new phase of our life. We're in a new space. It's a new time right now. Things are different. So the things that worked then probably won't work now. So it could be as simply as you thinking of those things, self-reflecting those things, and coming up with a different mindset. Coming up with a different program to put in there. It could be that simple. When I go to my therapist, I have found out some things about myself like I didn't even realize. So, seeking a professional sometimes can help you out. I'm going out happy-go-lucky and talking about different things. I make a statement and she was like, bam, she'll hit me with something. She's like, yeah, go ahead and keep talking. I said, oh, okay. And then I'll sit there and think about it when she explained it. I was like, man, I never stopped to realize that. So sometimes we just don't know. But if stuff just don't sit right in your spirit, you feel off-centered as you navigate through life, it just don't feel right or whatever, self-reflect. Look within you and find that space or that spot that hurt, that spot that causes hesitation, just that spot. You know what that spot is. You know that thing. If you in relationships and my relationships always end and everybody keeps saying I'm doing this thing or whatever, but I know I'm a good person or whatever, even right or wrong, even if you're not wrong at all, how about explore that thing that everybody's talking about? If everybody is saying the same exact thing, look into that thing. You may find out that you're just picking the wrong people to pursue or to date or whatever, and nothing's wrong at all. But you may sit there and self-reflect and find out and do research that, hey, I can change a couple things. I can alter a couple things. Instead of us sitting in this energy of it is what it is, whoever's meant to be, they're going to come around and they're going to be able to deal with me how I am type of thing. When you could be possibly missing out on a blessing because your ego. God could have sent you whatever you needed, business-wise, relationship-wise, whatever, because you're sitting in the ego and you don't really want to change and you like whatever and you don't want to do the work. You're missing out on these great things. You're missing out on this great life. You're missing out on this peace you desire. And it's right there. Like, everything's so simple, but we all complicated. We complicated, man. Mine's patience, and that's not just in business, whatever, in life. Patience, relationships, whatever is patience. I always want what I want when I want it. And I'm not God, so that's not the way that goes. He orchestrates. But that's how I am. I know it's patience. So I am practicing slowing down. I got this book that I'm reading on patience, and I've been addressing patience with my therapist. In the book, just to bring up a point, it was mentioning that it's so hard for us to be patient because we're taught everything happens fast. Everything. We're on a timer for things. When we're in school, they teach us to take this test, finish it at this time. So everything has to happen quickly. Everything is a race. Everything is fast. Think about social media these days. Our attention span is so short. So short, man. If a video more than 60 seconds and if they're not really doing anything to engage your attention, you're moving on, you're swiping to the next one. We live in the swipe left, swipe right era right now. Everything is quick, everything is fast. But why? Where are we going? Why? With some of that stuff that, that's not intentional work to get us to a certain place, what are we doing? Why am I in a hurry? Why am I in a hurry right now? So, yeah, we have to, just take accountability for things that we have going on, make a better quality of life. I always speak about the kids and the ones that's looking up to us because whatever we're doing, we're going to put it into them. Remember, whatever you have going on within you, it was probably cultivated when you were younger. So the same goes for your kids. Whatever environment you have them in, whatever habits you have, is going to be instilled within them. That's how it goes. It's a cycle, whatever. So change it up. Have you a peaceful environment at your house. Slow down. Make them accountable for things. Be able to communicate. Be able to speak to each other or whatever. A lot of people have problems with communication. A lot of people are not capable of hearing something in opposition to what they think, and they get offended. And I don't know where that comes from. Why were we taught that? I don't know. I'm going to have to explore deeper into where that comes from. I guess because maybe as a people, we were always fighting for things. We always had to fight for what we wanted. We always have to, it always seemed like a battle for everything. So we don't know how to have things, smoothly and calmly. It's always a war, and it doesn't have to be. We're in control. Once you realize how to control those emotions and control those things going on inside of you, we're in control. Once you control what you put inside of your mindset, you're in control. You orchestrate the thing. God orchestrates you, but the things you're in control of, you can orchestrate it. And that's how that works, man. Life could be so much better. All right? So take the time to actually do that. I know it can be scary. One step at a time. You know that thing. Everybody know that major thing. And we're not perfect, so everybody has that major thing that they know they need to work on. For one reason or another, we decided not to. We don't want to. It might be too hard or whatever. But what if that hard thing is what's stopping you to get to the next level wherever you are supposed to be? What if that one thing is your roadblock? That one thing, if you just go out and buy a book and read up on it. That one thing, if you just even Google it and research it or whatever, or talk to AI and have them tell it to you, whatever, that one thing is what's separating you from the life that you want. And that one thing could be perspective shifts. That one thing could be that mindset shift. All right? Because I love my mindset shift when it comes to not caring what people think anymore. Like, I just live in this world as if I'm looking at everybody from the outside in. Like, I really don't care. I don't have to keep up with the trends and clothes, cars, none of that stuff. I don't care. And it took a while to get there. It takes a minute now, but I look at the world for what it is. All of this stuff is temporary. All of this stuff. When we die, we all have the same thing that happens. Everybody's going to wish us condolences on our family condolences on Facebook and Instagram and all of that stuff. They're going to say great stuff about us. They're going to post a picture of you and times they may have had with you 15, 20 years ago. It's going to be people that you never talked to before or people that didn't have a word with you while you were alive. They're going to have a lot of stuff to say, and then they're going to move on. Look at the world from that simple perspective. They're going to move on. When you die, it's just going to move on to the next thing. All those people that had all that stuff to say about you that made you slow down, all those people that did those things that caused those roadblocks in your life, all that stuff. But when you die, it's the same process for everybody. They speak about you for a minute, and then they move on. They move on. It doesn't matter. That's how much things doesn't matter here, man. So do what's best for yourself and your family. Look in that mirror, reflect, and see what you could do better to make a better you. Slow down, breathe, be patient, communicate freely. Say what you have to say, but say it in a way, where everyone can receive it. Make your message clear because you have a voice and you want it to be heard. All right? You don't want to miss not one word. And I'm working on that. For some reason, I'm on this podcast, I'm sitting there talking. It's easy because I'm talking to you, but it's just me right here. All right? But it seems like I have to learn how to pause and slow down when I'm talking to someone and, we're talking about someone with high energy or whatever. Oh my God. Or if I'm talking to someone that's hard headed and, they're just not getting it, but it's my passion because I care so much. Man, I care so much about people. I see the best in everybody. And I care so much. And I guess I just feel like the more I say it just straight laced and straightforward, they will get it. But no, you have to find out how that person receives things. That person may be used to war and somebody yelling and coming at them like that all the time. So it may take a softer approach. It may take a softer approach because no one has ever, taken that approach with them. No one has ever shown them real love, care, concern, patience. So, taking that approach, that would get your message across. And I'm working on that, man. So if you guys see me out, you see me not on my game or trying to work on that, say something to me. Hold me accountable. I don't mind. All right? Let's do it, man. Let's be the highest, best versions of ourselves. Don't be afraid of ourselves because everything you ever wanted lies within that work that you need to do on yourself. All right? Don't be afraid to look in that mirror. It was great talking to you guys today. And, of course, what just happened to you. You just got stroked up. Bye.